Well, I was going to start the video on these two clocks, but my wife saw in a previous video where my wiring was all dirty and that really bothered her. These dirty wires really irritated her. Hey, that's not going to work. Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Try the fans. Oh, it feels good. Try the lights. Yep.
Show this place.
What place?
This place.
Oh.
I can clean it every day.
What?
Look at that.
What? You got paint all over your pants.
It's my clothes.
Your work clothes.
No. It's my favorite clothes. Because I work in every day.
You did a good job, honey. Thank
Help
you.
me. Okay.
Okay, can I have my shot back?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too. Now that we have that nasty, dirty wire problem solved, I'm sure she feels much better about that. Let's get down to the clocks here. These two clocks belong to a very, very good client of mine, Tracy M. out of Arlington, Tennessee. He is an avid General Electric and Revere Westminster clock collector. He's amassed a great collection of clocks, and he sends some of them to me every now and then for restoration. I have this particular clock right here in front of me. This is a Revere R-927 from 1941. This isn't the clock I'm going to be showing you in this video. I just wanted to double check it, see if it needed a rotor. I have it plugged in, the clock's not running. So obviously this one's going to need a rotor. So let's go and check the other one. The clock that we're going to be showing this time is a very rare Revere R-448. This is only the second 448 that I've had the opportunity to work on. The first one I did back in 2009. This particular clock is supposed to have a bezel, brass bezel around it. Tracy does have the bezel in glass. He didn't want to risk it getting broken during shipping, and that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and post the picture of the one that I did in 2009 so you can get an idea of what that clock looks like when it's restored. So you can see on the back of the clock, there's no plug-in on it, so we don't even know if this clock is going to run. Anytime you see this, take this with a grain of salt, because typically this is what people do after the clocks stop running. So if you're buying a clock that has no cord or it's cut, you could pretty much assume that it's not going to run. So I'm not giving much hope to this particular clock, but we're going to test it anyway. A neat thing about this is that right there's a repair tag on it from, I think it's Harlow's Clocks, and this is out of Santa Ana, California. And the unique thing about that is there's no zip code on it, okay? So that tells me that the service on this clock was done prior to 1963, because that's when we started using zip codes. So Tracy also sent this bag of goodies with the clock here. Let's see what he sent. New cloth power cord he wants me to install. Nice color on that. That'll look great on the clock. And I'm assuming these are the hands. Yep, so the hands are in the box here. Yep, everything's there, so I'll be able to put those on to test it. The reason people would cut the power cords off of here when the clock stopped running is because they were afraid of an electrical shock. Actually, a lot of things like tube radios and that kind of stuff back in the 1930s and 40s, they sat on big chassis and they carried a lot of voltage through them. There was always a chance of electrical shock or a fire, but on these particular clocks, that does not hold true, and you'll see that in just a moment. So I've gone and attached a power cord to this, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and let's see what happens. Well, I hear some noise, but the gears are not turning. I'm going to stick my finger in there and, oh boy, that feels really loose. That's not supposed to be like that. Let me check the output shaft here on the rotor. I know it's hard to see what I'm doing. Yep, that's spinning too, so that's telling me that the bearings in the rotor are completely shot. So Tracy, get ready. You're going to get another invoice from Telecron Clock for 2 rotors. I want you to take a very good look at this clock because this is just true Art Deco in its appearance. I mean, just beautiful. It's a very solid clock. This is all done in mahogany wood. The wood on this is actually in very good condition. It's all dry and very, very dirty. I did notice up on the top here, you're going to see paint specks, which is not uncommon on all these clocks that I seem to do. I'm not going to do a full restoration video on this clock. If you want to see full restorations, you could look at some of my other Westminster videos that I have on YouTube. This is going to be more of a before and after. And I just wanted to present this clock because this is a very, very rare opportunity for you to see something like this because you're probably never going to see another one again. So stand by. It's going to be a while before I get this clock done, but we'll do an after shot as soon as I can. So maybe it is possible for lightning to hit in the same spot twice. I just got a message from a Tom up in Kensington, Ohio, which is my old stomping grounds, and he's a prior Silver Dollar Productions customer, and he writes me with this picture and says, "Roy, I just acquired this clock. What can you tell me about it?" I mean, what are the odds of getting a message like this during the time I'm making this particular video? So let's add one more to the list, making it 3 448s that I've seen in the last 15 years. When cleaning the door on this clock, I found more provenance. Boy, I hope that's $15 and not $75 as it looks. I could tell you for a fact back in 1971, Telecron was selling these rotors for about $3.50 a piece. If that is $75, that's like $360 in today's money. Alright, so I got this clock completed, and let me tell you, I honestly had my doubts about it. I could not get this clock to chime correctly at all, and I ended up going back in and replacing a lot of the parts to the chime train on this. But I did test it overnight. It has been running fabulously so far. You can go ahead and take a look at it. Everything on here came out pretty good. The clock does show quite a bit of crazing up here in the wood and on the burls over here, but you know, again, keep in mind that this is all original finish on this clock. But compared to what we started with, this clock looks almost brand new. And I'm sure once Tracy puts the bezel and the glass back on this, it'll really make a big difference also. Here, I'll give you an idea of what the back of the clock looks like. So, okay, let me see if I can get this to work correctly. Here we go. Alright folks, we're going to go ahead and put a fork in this clock. It's done. We're going to put it up on the test shelf for a week just to make sure there's no more bugs in it. I hope you found this clock to be interesting, and I hope you found my information to be useful also. It's been a pleasure having you. I look forward to seeing you on my next clock. Take care and goodbye.